Hello S1 and welcome to your next lesson on settlements. Now, a starter task before we start this lesson, what I'd like you to do is thinking about all you've learned so far, write down as much you can remember about settlement in 3 minutes. So if you want to pause the video at this point, try and spend about 3 minutes writing down all that you can remember, all that you've learned so far from the settlement topic. Okay, so our next lesson today, what we're looking at is settlement, function and hierarchy. So in your jotter, if you want to take a new heading for today, which is settlement, function and hierarchy, or if you're typing this up on a Word document, then if you want to type up settlement, function and hierarchy. So this is our next lesson on our settlement topic. So what we're looking to do today, we're looking to learn about the different functions that settlements can have. Now we're also looking to introduce the term settlement hierarchy today. So we're looking at different functions of settlements and what the term settlement hierarchy actually means. So by the end of the lesson, this is your main aim. So firstly, to name the 4 main types of settlement function, to explain the term settlement hierarchy, and to give examples of settlements for each level of the settlement hierarchy. Now firstly, task number 1, settlement functions definition. So a settlement's function are the activities that take place there. Now settlements normally have a number of functions, but one may be more important than the others. So if you want to write this down in your jotter, so this is the definition of settlement function. So settlement function is the activities that take place in a settlement. Now as we said there, normally they have a number of functions, but one may be more important than the other. So in your jotter, or if you're doing this on a Word document, if you want to type this or write this in your jotter. So this is your definition for settlement function. So if you want to pause the video at this point, just to note this down here. So that's what settlement function is, what activities actually take place at a settlement. Now there's 4 main types of settlement function which we are going to look at. Okay, so task number 2, settlement function. So what we're looking to find out here is what is the 4 main types of functions in a settlement. Now you're looking to match the term with the correct definition here. So down the left hand side you've got terms. So you've got industrial town, resort, port and market town. So you're looking to write these down in your jotter with the correct definition beside each of them. Now you have 4 definitions on the right hand side here. So if you can, try and do this yourself without using the answers I'm about to reveal in a moment. So you want to pause the video at this point and try and write in the definition, and then I will go over it in a moment. So firstly, industrial town. Now industrial town, the definition that you should have written beside industrial town is this is where most people live in there, work in factories. So that is what an industrial town, the term of that settlement, would be. Next, resort, that's a place where tourists visit to enjoy themselves. So a settlement function could be that that settlement is predominantly a resort. Next one is port, so where goods are loaded and unloaded by ship. And then the last term is market town, where farmers buy and sell goods. So more of a market town. Now, as we discussed, settlements can have more than one function. So they might be an industrial town and they might be a port, for example. So they could have various functions, but some may be more important than others. So our first aim today, by the end of the lesson, we should be able to name the 4 main types of settlement functions. So we've just covered that there. What we're going to look at next is the term settlement hierarchy, and to try and give examples of settlements for each level of the settlement hierarchy. So task number 3, so for the following photographs, write down what the function of the settlement is in your jotter. So firstly, we have this picture here. Now what do you think the function of this might be? Well, this is a resort. Now the reason we could tell it's a resort here, it's actually got the hotels along the beachfront there. So this is a resort. Next picture. This is a market town here. You can see the stalls there where people are buying and selling goods. So that is a market town there. Next type, if you look closely at the picture, you should see a few things to help you here. This is a port, because you can see the ships there in the river, obviously unloading and loading goods. And the last picture here, this is an example of an industrial town. You can see there lots and lots of buildings, some factories there, so that's an example of an industrial town. Now task number 4, settlement hierarchy. Now settlements can be ranked in order of size, population, function and importance. Now what you're looking to do here is to note down what the settlement hierarchy is. So settlements can be ranked in order of size, population, function and importance, and you're looking to draw this triangle, the settlement hierarchy, in your jotter. Now this is the different types of settlements that we can have in terms of settlement hierarchy. So at the very bottom there we've got an isolated dwelling, then we've got a hamlet, then a village, then a small town, then a large town, then a city, then a conglomeration. Now you can see here that on the left hand side the arrow says increases in size of settlement, higher population and more services. So the higher up your hierarchy you go, the bigger the size of the settlement, the more people that live there. However, you'll see on the other side of your hierarchy these decrease in frequency. So there's actually more isolated dwellings and hamlets, for example, in villages across the UK than what there is, say, major cities. So they actually decrease in frequency the further up that we go. So in your jotter you're looking to write down settlements can be ranked in order of size, population, function and importance. That is your hierarchy, and you're looking to draw your hierarchy in your jotter. Now as settlements get larger they offer more services. Now there are actually more hamlets and small villages than large regional cities, as I've just mentioned there. So that is what your settlement hierarchy actually is. Now, a major centre like Glasgow or Manchester is known as a conglomeration. So they are very, very large centres, places like Glasgow and Manchester, with lots and lots of people living there. Okay, so our second main aim today was to explain the term settlement hierarchy. So we should have noted that down in our jotter, and you should have the triangle drawn in your jotter as well. Now what we're looking to do next is give examples of settlements for each level of the settlement hierarchy. So task number 5 for today, so examples of settlements. So using the next slide, what you're looking to do is to create a settlement hierarchy using examples of settlements in Scotland and write these on each level of your triangle. Now examples could include Kirriemuir as a small town, for example, or Dunfermline as a large town, so you can go from there. Now think about as well what sort of facilities and services you would find in each of these settlements that you might mention. So to start you off here, you've got Glasgow at the top of your triangle, so that'd be your conglomeration there. Then you need to think of a city in Scotland, then a large town, then you've got a small town there, Kirriemuir, then you need to think of a village, a hamlet and an isolated dwelling. So you need to try and give an example of each. So you could use Glasgow and Kirriemuir in your triangle, and you need to try and name other places in Scotland that would fit into each of those categories. So again, if you want to pause the video at this point to complete this task. Okay, so our last aim today was to give examples of settlements for each level of the settlement hierarchy, so you should have completed that there as well. Now lastly, just to finish the day, if you look at this photograph of Kirriemuir in the 1890s, think about everything we've discussed, try and describe this picture. So what was life like in Kirriemuir at this time in the 1890s, and think about how the town has maybe changed over the years as well. So again, you could pause the video at this point to think about Kirriemuir in the 1890s, what was it like, what was life maybe like, and how has the town changed since this time. Okay, so it's over to you. So thank you again for completing this lesson. So what you're looking to upload via Teams is task number 1, so settlement function, so the definition, what that actually means. Task number 2, settlement function, so you're looking to match the term with the correct definition. Task number 3, you're looking to use the photographs to write down what the function of the settlement is in your jotter. Task number 4, settlement hierarchy, so you're looking to copy that into your jotter, so what the settlement hierarchy looks like. And then task number 5, examples of settlements in the hierarchy, so giving examples of different settlements in Scotland that would fit into different parts of the hierarchy. Thank you again for completing this lesson. If you have any questions at all about anything discussed in this lesson, then please just let your class teacher know. Thank you.